Hello and welcome to the late night edition with me, Ayushman Singh Jamwal. Our top story, and this is a huge boost coming in to India's defence sector. Top government sources have told CNN News 18 that the Cabinet Committee on Security has cleared major defence deals for building 2 nuclear submarines indigenously and buying 31 Predator drones from the United States. 15 drones will be for the Indian Navy, 8 for the Indian Army, and 8 for the Indian Air Force. The US has already sent a letter of acceptance. That is the big piece of breaking news that's coming in, a major booster to India's defense sector as the war on terror also continues on several fronts. Now what we are learning is that top government sources have told CNN News 18 that the Cabinet Committee on Security has cleared the defense deal for 31 Predator drones for not just the Indian Navy, but the Indian Army and the Indian Air Force. The Indian Navy will get 15, while 8 Predator drones will go to the Air Force and 8 will go to the Indian Army. That is the big piece of breaking news that's coming in. Even the fact that 2 nuclear submarines, the defense, the funds and the clearance has been given for the building of 2 indigenous nuclear submarines at the same time. So when it comes to the entire defense sector, new avenues being opened up as the capabilities of the Indian defense sector, the Indian forces is being expanded, not just with Predator drones, but also nuclear submarines. Huge news coming in when it comes to the defense sector, the clearance coming in from the Cabinet Committee on Security. To get more details, I'm joined by my colleague Akash Sharma on the broadcast, who tracks the Ministry of Defense. Akash, over to you. A huge booster for all wings of the Indian military.
Right, Ayushman, 2 big decisions have been taken in this CCS meeting, in fact, Cabinet Committee of Security, where the top leaders of the ruling government sit and decide on crucial security matters. These 2 decision. First one is, of course, regarding SSN class submarines. So, approval has been given to construct 2 SSN class submarines with a budget of more than 40,000 crore. And, it will, of course, involve private sector firms, and it will be carried out in Vishakhapatnam. Now, when it is about SSN class submarines, so why it is important, you see, as far as nuclear submarines are concerned, so we have SSBN class submarines. Just few months, in fact, few weeks back, we had, INS Arigat commissioned in, Indian Navy, and we also have INS Aridaman, coming up next year. But SSN class submarine was actually required. SSN class submarine, one can understand SSN class as a normal submarine, a conventional submarine with nuclear reactor. So it gives you long range and unlimited endurance. If you want to send your submarine for patrol, so it is really difficult to send a SSBN class submarine because it has ballistic missiles and it has all the repercussions with it. But SSN class submarine can be sent, and it has got nuclear reactors, so it will give you, unlimited endurance. Further, as far as Predator deal is concerned, so Ayushman, you see, this was long pending. We know that how in the July month, with some modification, this deal was sent for DAC approvals. The modifications were related to the indigenous content in Predator drone. But after that, everyone was waiting for CCS approval because this is the final step. Now we are learning that signing process will happen, and after signing process, within 4 years, we'll be receiving these units. Indian Navy is already using 2 Predator drones, that India has taken on lease. We know that how one Predator was, involved in a sort of crash just few days back. But definitely, as far as these 2 decisions are concerned, so these are 2 important decisions that have been given a note by the Cabinet Committee for Security. 2 submarines, SSN class submarines, attack submarines, and 31 Predator drones.
Right, but
yeah.
Right. Akash, but when it comes to the 31 Predator drones, given the war on terror, not just in Jammu and Kashmir, but even the threat of terror from Pakistan, how much of a game changer is this?
Right. So as far as these drones are concerned, so these drones come up with a lot of capabilities. As far as their endurance is concerned, you can use it in both the sea and in high terrain. In fact, when I said that Navy is already using it, so Navy has carried out a number of missions. You must be remembering the time when, Houthis were in fact active, and several ships were targeted in the Arabian Sea as well. At that time, we saw several footages from Indian Navy side, and all these footages were recorded from Predator drone. So this is the kind of operational capability it will give you, not just at the place where you're operating, but at hundreds of kilometers away from that particular place. So it will give you a lot many capabilities, and the capabilities will come for not just Navy, but for Indian Army and Indian Air Force as well, Ayushman.
Right. Thank you, Akash, for getting us that big piece of breaking news. A huge boost to India's defense capabilities. 31 Predator drones. The deal for that has been cleared by the Cabinet Committee for Security. Also, at the same time, the clearance also coming in for the indigenous construction of 2 nuclear submarines. So we'll have to wait and see how these deals play out. But at the end of the day, the Modi government committed to not just Atmanirbharta in the defense sector, but also expanding India's defense capabilities as the threat of terror as well as geopolitical flexing from both Pakistan as well as China, both from the land borders as well as from the maritime borders. It continues to put pressure on India, and India being ready when it comes to its defense capabilities. Akash getting us those latest details as the Cabinet Committee on Security has cleared these 2 crucial defense vectors when it comes to expanding India's capabilities to take on not just terror threats, but also the conventional threats coming in from both Pakistan as well as China. But